With Bernie Sanders out of the U.S. presidential race, his supporters, of which I was one, now have some tough decisions to make on Election Day. The ones who never really understood democracy in the first place will stay home. The ones who were already filled with a weird, frothing hatred for mankind will vote for Donald Trump. The ones who are just hoping to avoid a fascist state and nuclear war will vote for Hillary Clinton. I'm part of that group. And the ones who aren't quite ready to give up on the idea of immediate radical change in government will go for a third-party candidate, neither of whom will ever in this lifetime or another be president of the United States. In that group, the people who skew more conservative will go for the libertarian, Gary Johnson, and those who skew more liberal will go for the Green Party candidate, Jill Stein. Because I'm a liberal hippie, I know a lot of people who are going to be voting for Stein, whose policies most resemble those of Bernie Sanders. And so because of that, and because I have some friends who have been encouraging me to vote for Stein as well, I've been looking into her policies, and what I have found has not been pleasant. And so I wanted to share that for anyone who, like me, was considering voting for her because she seemed the most like Bernie Sanders. A lot of Stein's policies do mirror Sanders or even take them a step further. So she's in favor of a single-payer healthcare system, eliminating all student loan debt, legalizing marijuana, protecting LGBT rights, and safeguarding women's access to abortion. All things that I agree with. When it comes to science, though, Jill Stein is pretty hit or miss. She does believe in global warming, which is good, but she also believes that genetically modified crops are dangerous and should be banned. As a reminder, there's absolutely no evidence that GMOs are dangerous to humans or anyone else. She also thinks that Wi-Fi is dangerous to human health and she wants to regulate it. And to support that, she points to one-off, poorly done studies, exactly how most conspiracy theorists do it. I've previously done a whole video on this, so I'll just refer you to that if you want to learn why that's bullshit. Possibly Stein's worst quality, though, is her waffling on vaccines. Jill Stein is an actual medical doctor, so she should be more than aware of the mountains of evidence showing absolutely no link between vaccines and autism, vaccines and risk of serious injury, or any problem with the current vaccine schedule. However, whenever the topic of vaccines comes up, she panders to the anti-vaccine conspiracy nuts. I first noticed this in Stein's Reddit AMA when she answers a question about whether or not vaccines are dangerous by blathering on for several paragraphs about how we need to make sure Big Pharma isn't influencing our regulatory agencies. She talked around the issue again when she was interviewed by Newsweek, and she waffled so much that the reporter actually had to ask her twice, very clearly, to answer the question of whether or not she believed vaccines cause autism. She, again, couldn't just come out and say, no, they don't. Instead, she responded, I do not know of any evidence to that effect. I actually do think that Jill Stein knows vaccines don't cause autism, but she's so focused on not losing the support of anti-vaccinationists that she completely refuses to be direct. And that has not been clearer than when she responded to musician Colin Malloy's tweet. He asked her on Twitter, hey, at Dr. Jill Stein, do you believe vaccines cause autism? Direct question. Stein responded with, and I quote, there's no evidence that vaccines cause autism. Let's do more to support autistic people and their families, which is a great answer. That is exactly what we want a politician to say. But she then quickly deleted that tweet and then posted another tweet a few minutes later that read, I'm not aware of evidence linking autism with vaccines. Do you notice the difference there? I'm not aware of evidence linking autism with vaccines, compared to her initial response, there's no evidence that vaccines cause autism. It's waffling, pure and simple, and it's disgusting. Sure, all politicians pander to some extent, but I just can't support someone who claims to be a bold revolutionary who can't even stand up for her own beliefs, or in this case, stand up for her own correct understanding of the science, especially on such an important issue. I mean, sure, she is never going to win a presidential election. She's never even going to be the president of her homeowners association. But any politician who panders to anti-vaccinationists only makes them stronger.